Welcome back to Abe's Exoddus. I'm Met, and this is the Mudanchi Vaults, the scrap area of Oddworld Abe's Exoddus. So just like in Paramount and Scrabanian, the last game, the vaults are separated in that you kind of get like a runoff of like what each area is like. So just like what the vaults are about, what you're going to be doing a lot of the time. Where in this case, we're going to be hitting a lot of locks, releasing a lot of spirits, and freeing them. They open doors for us because that's what spirits do to thank us. The biggest difference is that before we actually get to the big rooms, we see the wildlife before anything else. So this is the Scrab, and we have a new ability in Abe's Exoddus, in that Abe's possession abilities have broadened. We can possess certain wildlife now. So Scrabs, for example, can be put under our control, which is pretty cool. When you possess a Scrab, first of all, this cool beat plays, which is always good. And you can't do a lot as a Scrab, really. You only have really two dialogue choices. One is just kind of calling like a bird. That's not what that is. That's the shriek. And when you shriek, you gain power. And when you have power, you can attack as a Scrab. You may have seen Scrabs do this back in Abe's Odyssey, but it was very rare because Scrabs only ever attacked each other. Usually they just used their long beaks to poke holes into Abe, and that wasn't very theatrical. But now we can do it whenever we want to, and it's a blast. Yes, it is a blast, Abe. Don't question me. Besides Scrabs, as I've said before, we're going to see a lot of Fleeches. Now, in this context, Fleeches are not very threatening. After all, essentially they are just these weird green worms that just happen to have really sharp tongues. But they will be a constant threat for a lot of times, and usually we're going to have to kill them one way or the other. In a way, I kind of think that the Fleeches are one of the worst things about Abe's Exoddus, because they just kind of feel lazy. Like a lazy enemy sometimes, but I don't know. I also just don't like them. They kill me a lot, so that could just be a personal thing. If you have an invisible power, I would not recommend possessing or chanting in the same place where there's a deep possession orb, a chant orb, because then you lose a lot of valuable time, invisible time. I really like the Mudanchi Vaults. I really like how the Mudanchi Vaults look. It's a very big, like, I mean, it's all like indoors, but as you can see, it's all very broad and wide open. It's a very bright place. I like the color scheme of everything. I like the music in it a lot, from start to finish, no matter what's going on. And before we possess this Scrab, let's see what we got going on here. A little thing, that's how you pronounce the word Scrab. That's how you do it. And this is all pretty good advice. They'll get each other before they get you. That's still very true. And that's the shred power again. You want to use it a lot. But yeah, the Mudanchi Vaults are, I don't know, they're just pretty cool. They seem definitely the most living place in the game. It's a very vibrant area, and I think that's cool. We ruined that Fleech's day. Scrabs do not. Fleeches will eat Scrabs, like if you let them. Like if you just let them stab at them enough times, they will get eaten. So I don't recommend waiting around for that. I don't recommend waiting around for anything regarding Fleeches, save for very specific examples. Most of the time, you just want to get away. You see a lot of these weird, like, tombstone things in the background, like those weird, like, that have like horns on them. They're everywhere in Necrom, and I remember there being a reason for it, like something that has to do with depth. That's a good message. It's important. But yeah, they liked using them a lot in Necrom because like it made everything have a lot more depth in the area, and it was kind of like an easy resource to use. Because again, keep in mind that I don't have to possess that scrap. Keep in mind that because this game is so much larger, the people who made it, they could not afford enough time to like put so much care into each background, which sounds kind of shitty if I put it that way. Scraps don't talk back. It sounds kind of shitty, but I don't think the game suffers that much from it. I think each area looks unique enough that it doesn't matter. This is the third time we've seen this message, but that's okay. It's pretty important here right now, actually, because we're gonna fight some Scrabs. Now, Scrabs, they fight with honor. You know, you each give yourself each time. Usually the other one calls before attacking you, and you should too, because that's the honorable thing to do. But I don't fight with honor. That Fleech is totally safe. I did a stupid thing. I woke it up too soon, so now I have to worry about it when I'm Abe. I'm checking to see if it actually climbed down. Nope, it's still there. Fleeches actually have two mouths. They have a mouth on each side of their heads, although you can't really see it that well in-game. Tons of concept art. It's totally fine. Yeah, that Scrab didn't even have a chance. The Scrab I possessed would basically go to Scrab prison if I did not imprison him already. He'd be ostracized. Although I guess that's a good thing. Okay, now I gotta get that other... You know, if you could just break locks of Scraps, this would be a lot easier, but you can't do that, so we're gonna have to really push it here. I think 2 more hits and he would have gotten me, so that was close. Now this is a short video, but we do have one more important thing to do. You can still hear the Fleech squirming. I didn't want to put all of Mundachi Vaults in one video because I thought it would take too long. Because it then would have been like a 40-minute video, and I don't like watching 40-minute videos, so I don't know. So before we end this, we have first this fun thing. It's really well written. It's got good onomatopoeias. But as you can see, we have a secret area. And I'm not very good at the secret area, much like I wasn't good in the last one. I'm not good at getting in the secret area. As you can see, it's really difficult for me to do that. But yeah, if I'm gonna do this for the Mundachi Vaults, like separate the before big room parts and then after. And if you guys like it to be 2 separate videos, I'll do that for the Mundamo Vaults as well. But if you'd rather Mundamo just be one video all by itself, I'll allow it. I won't mind. So, oh boy. So once we pull this lever, we're on a timer essentially. The Fleeches are gonna eventually fall down, and if we're in the same screen as them, then they'll actually kill the Mudokons before they go after Abe. The Fleeches will eat the Mudokons. They don't care. They have no real preference for flesh. But you have to kill them. And the way I thought you had to do this is they would just come down to me by their own free will. And they would just go through the grinders and everything would be okay. But that's not how this worked out. I don't know why. It just didn't. Even though they clearly knew I was there. That was delaying the inevitable. So the right way to do this, and I don't even know if this is the right way to do this, is to actually just go as fast as you can. Save these Mudokons before the Fleeches go down and get you. It's actually nice because the Fleeches don't go down and get you if you just stay in the screen. They won't do anything bad. Of course, I scare the birds away, so I made everything far more difficult for myself this way. Let's see how it plays out. Looks like it played out pretty well. Looks like everything's a-okay. And now we can get out of here nice and easy. And with that done, once we go through this bird portal, we get into our nice little series of rooms. There's a guy in the background, he's having a good time. Before we end the video, let's see what sorts of rooms we have up ahead. Mudachi Vault is easily far bigger than the Mudamo Vaults. Some rooms are rooms within rooms. A lot of puzzles all crammed into one thing. But they're good. They're good rooms. And next time we'll be checking them out. So I'll see you later.